What is going on, everybody? This is a very sick Bandicoot coming from QRS Entertainment, and today I'm going over my 2022 NFL playoff predictions. Apologies if my voice is a little off. I'm still getting over that thing that everyone's getting over. But luckily for me, while I'm laying up in bed trying to recover, I have a lot of great football to watch this weekend, because we have the wild card weekend starting off with the Saturday games. We have the Bengals and the Raiders. Now with this game, I'm hearing a lot of hype for the Raiders. They did come off a big win over the Chargers, and good for them. They absolutely deserve that win, and they got into it, and they brought the Steelers right along with them. But with that being said, I think this is where their luck runs out. I think the Bengals are better than I've been high on the Bengals all year long. They've let me down, and the Raiders have proved me wrong because I've been kind of low on them all year long. But even though these teams are very similar, have a lot of the same talent, same exact record, I feel like the Bengals have a better team overall, even if it's just slightly. They have more name recognition, they have more seasoned players, and I do believe that they're going to stop the Raiders' good luck starting with this game. Again, this is the playoffs and anything can happen, but I'm just staying with the Bengals. I picked them all year long, and I'm not going to pick against them just because the Raiders got lucky at the end of the season. Well, I shouldn't say the Raiders got lucky. They played their butts off, and they did a good job. I should say that the Raiders got in because the Chargers just collapsed, and the Ravens too. Now on to the second Saturday night game, and that is the Bills and the Pats. My Pats are taking on the Bills for the third time this year, and earlier this year, the Pats got one win, and then the Bills got the other. While I don't think it's hard to say that the Bills are a much better team than the Patriots, I do feel the Patriots have better coaching and have better game planning, especially around the talent that the Bills have. And the Patriots have already shown they don't need the best talent in the league to win games, as long as they have Bill Belichick, the greatest mind in football currently, and probably ever has been, though he does have a lot of flaws himself. I feel like in this game, the Patriots have the advantage because it's a cold weather game, and the way these two teams are set up and have faced each other so often, I feel like Bill is going to get the better of the Bills. And of course, you didn't think I was going to pick against my team. Nah, I wasn't going to do that. And it's not going to be a pretty game. It's going to be a fun game, at least for me. At least I hope it is. But it's going to be a lot of running, a lot of pounding the ground, a very low-scoring game in the cold. And that suits the Patriots, and I think it'll benefit them well. And sticking with the final AFC game, we have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Steelers. I don't feel like there's any reason to go into a lot of depth in this game. I mean, you already know why. It's the Steelers. They got in because the Chiefs, gave them an olive branch and beat the Chargers instead of tying with them. Though miracles do happen, and we do want the Steelers to make the Super Bowl this year. That's what we all want. That's the big movement I've been seeing on Twitter and other YouTubers. But I just don't think they can make it past. I don't think they have a prayer or a shot at all. I'm rooting for them. Certainly rooting for them. I know if they beat the Steelers, they will somehow beat the Patriots just off Murphy's Law. So again, Kansas City, it's an easy pick. Before I jump over to the NFC, I'm going to go ahead and give you my predictions all the way through championship weekend with the AFC. But since I have Kansas City, the Bengals, and the Pats moving forward, it means the Pats will be playing the Titans. And again, I think the Pats are going to beat them. I know everyone's probably going to think that's crazy. I don't think the Titans are that good. I don't think they should have a bye week, to be honest with you. Yeah, I got it, the whole record situation, but I don't think they're as good as what people think they are. And I think the Patriots can beat them, just like they beat them before this year. I think the defensive plan will work just as fine, just stopping the run and stopping A.J. Brown and a couple other receivers, and you're good. You just collapse that whole offense, and they're done. They can't stop the Patriots from running. I think this is going to be the exact opposite of the Bills game, though. I think this will be a much, much higher scoring game, a lot of back and forth, but I think ultimately the Pats will win this game, pushing them one win away from making the Super Bowl again, because they're just the champs like that. On the other side of that, you have Kansas City and you have the Bengals. And unfortunately, as much as I like the Bengals, I think this is where their luck runs out. They stuck it to the Raiders, and then they're going to get stuck by KC. I said it a couple weeks ago, or I think week 16 or maybe even week 15, that KC has turned it around and their heads are right and they're looking forward to the playoffs, and they have done that. They are gassed up and ready to go, and I think that team is going to carry right on into this round, and they're going to be able to put the beat down on the Bengals. I don't think it'll be a relatively close game. I think there'll be some fight for the Bengals early on, but come the second quarter or even the third quarter, Kansas City will pull away and make it clear that they're the more dominant team and more deserving and more talented. So that means we have the Pats and KC for the AFC Championship. And of course I'm going with the Pats here. You already know that. Pats are going to the Super Bowl. It's a done deal. Well, as much as I'd like to make that prediction, I can't sit up here and honestly put that out there. Kansas City's going to beat my Patriots. I don't think it'll be relatively close. I don't think their defense is strong enough to hold all the weapons on KC, and I think Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill come out and just put it on them. They just tear them down, demoralize them, let them know you do need talent in this league and you can't just go off of schemes and systems. Though I will not be heartbroken, I will be very proud of the Patriots just because I know so many people wrote them off and they'll be in the championship game. And who knows? Maybe they might actually win. They are the champs for a reason. I don't care if it's been a couple of years since they won. They're still and always will be the champs, as long as Bill Belichick is still there. All right, now on to the NFC. Starting off with the Saturday game, or the Sunday games, I should say. We have the Bucs and the Eagles. Again, kind of like the Steelers and KC, we don't really need to talk a lot about this game. The Eagles aren't all that great of a team. Hey, good for them. They worked hard. They made it in. But you're playing the Bucs. Yes, the Bucs have a lot of problems, a lot of injuries, a lot of dysfunction going on. But anytime you have Brady and Gronk, you're going to be fine. So, again, they're going to be fine, and the Bucs will move on. Sorry about the Eagles. Sorry about your luck. Brady's going to get that revenge, and he's going to put it on you. Next up, we have the Cowboys and the 49ers. And this game is kind of conflicting for me, because as badly as I want to pick the Cowboys, I'm not going to. I know on the other side I said, hey, the Raiders, I should say. The Raiders caught lightning in a bottle, and they made it. Good for them. I kind of have that same feeling with the 49ers, except they're actually talented enough and have the ability to beat good teams like the Cowboys. On the other hand, the Cowboys are just as capable as beating good teams like the 49ers and any other team in these wild card games. But I just feel the 49ers are on a roll, and they're going to have their best game and beat the Cowboys, unfortunately. And then the 49ers will be moving on to face Green Bay, which, if you really think about it, it doesn't really matter which one of these teams makes it onto the next round, because they have to play Green Bay, and no one's stopping Green Bay. At least not in these first couple of rounds. Sorry about your luck, teams in the NFC. That's just the way it goes. Next up, we have the Monday night game, the final of the wild card games, the Rams and the Cardinals. And while you can go back and forth because both these teams are really good, every team in the NFC is good except for maybe the Eagles. But it makes for some great football and a lot of great matchups. So I'm going to pick the Rams here. I mean, you can theoretically make a case for the Cardinals. They are a really good team. They have a great record, a lot of great players, big names, but they're nowhere near as good as the Rams. The Rams have a much better defense and a more stable and consistent offense, and I think that is what's ultimately going to win the game out for them. And honestly, I don't think this is going to be a close game. I really don't. I can see it being a high-scoring game, but I think there's going to be at least a 2-touchdown, if not more, distance between the Rams and the Cardinals the entire game. Unless the Rams just come out here and just completely lay an egg and fall apart. But you can make the case that the Cardinals will do that exact same thing, because they've done it all throughout the year. So with the Rams moving on, that puts them up against the Bucs and the 49ers against Green Bay. I'll start with Green Bay and the 49ers. It's Green Bay. They're honestly crushing anyone going against them this round. So Green Bay is going to move forward. Though I do think 49ers will put up a fight in this one. I think this will be the first it's the first game that the Green Bay is going to be playing, but it's going to be a real test for them to let them know, hey, we're in the playoffs. We need to take this seriously if we want to win a Super Bowl, which they obviously do, like every team in the playoffs. But Green Bay has the most talent and most focus that I can tell this year. I think this is the game that they need to challenge them in the right way to have them set for the rest of the year, or set for the rest of the playoffs, I should say. So we have Green Bay moving on from the 49ers. What about the Bucs and the Rams? Now, I know a lot of people are picking the Rams over the Bucs because they think the Bucs are so dysfunctional at this point, they won't have enough talent or focus to move on. I think that's crazy. I think any team with Brady, no matter how dysfunctional they look from the outside, cannot be overlooked. I think the Bucs are going to win. Yes, the Rams probably have a little bit more talent, probably have a little bit more organized game plan right now because it's more consistent. The players that are there. You don't have all this drama and all this crazy incidences going on with your players and everything, all the media surrounding them. But again, I'm not going to pick against Brady because he's a champion. Just like the Patriots, he's a champion. Until he loses, he's a champion. And by lose, what I mean is when he loses his game against Father Time. So, next, we have Green Bay and the Bucs vying to see who's going to make it to the Super Bowl to take on Kansas City. Or the Patriots. Man, wouldn't that be sweet if we have a Bucs-Patriots Super Bowl? Oh man, I'd love that. I wouldn't know who to root for. I mean, obviously the Patriots, but still, man, that'd be awesome. It's not going to happen. Long shot, but it would be awesome. But no, I think you have to go Green Bay here. Like I've been saying, they're locked in, they're focused, they got the talent, they're trying to do it all for Rodgers, and this might be the last hurrah for this team. So I think they put it together and they beat the Bucs. I mean, they had an embarrassing game last year in the playoffs against them. I don't think they're going to do that again. I think that reminder of last year's game and the challenge in the previous round against the 49ers will be just what this Green Bay team needs to make it back to the Super Bowl after all this time. Again, this is going to be no easy game for Green Bay to win. Brady's going to give it to them and give them as much as they can handle. But I think Green Bay will ultimately edge out not only Brady, but the entire Green Bay team. I mean, not Green Bay, the entire Buccaneers team. I do think Brady will probably outplay Rodgers slightly, but just the overall team's aspect of it, Green Bay will win out in the end. With an unfortunate end to the line to the Bucs, with no rematch against KC or game against the Pats. So that leaves the Super Bowl looking like Kansas City and Green Bay. Now, I know a lot of people are going to pick Kansas City, and you know what? They probably should. They're a really good team. They're locked in at this moment, and I kind of want to pick them, but I've been saying it all year. Green Bay is locked in. This is their year. This is their time, and if there's any chance that they have winning a Super Bowl, it's this year. And it's honestly more than that. It's more than just winning a Super Bowl. It's how can you keep Rodgers as long as you can. Because without him, the team falls apart. It crumbles apart. So hopefully a Super Bowl win will keep him happy enough to want to return. As much as I love Kansas City, Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill, and all the talent that is with that team, I don't think they'll have enough drive and motivation as Green Bay does. Kansas City just won a couple years ago. Yes, they have championship pedigree, but Green Bay is hungry. They're thirsty for this. They have the talent, just as much talent as Kansas City, and I think ultimately Green Bay will win the Super Bowl. Like I've been saying since, week 3 or 4? Pretty much ever since that bounce-back game after that shellacking in week 1. But anyway, those are my predictions for the NFL playoffs. I will be updating them weekly once my picks are inevitably busted and my bracket's destroyed. Actually, no, my bracket's probably not going to get destroyed, and I won't have to adjust it because, I'm right. I'm always right. I have a feeling on this. I'm just that good at it. Honestly, come on. Not to toot my own horn, I did have a very good year in picks. Really good year. But, things happen. This is the playoffs. Things get crazy. Who knows? You might have the Eagles and the Steelers in the playoffs, man. How wild would that be if you have them two for the Super Bowl? That'd be nuts. I'm actually kind of rooting for that, actually. Regardless of who wins and who advances, there's a lot of awesome storylines. Man, the NFL did a great job steering clear of all the crap and all the stuff that muddies the water with sports these last couple of years, and they've put out great products and that's why they're getting the most ratings right now. Them and golf. It's amazing. But anyway, tell me what your picks are. What do you think is going to happen? What do you want to happen? And you have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Enjoy the wild card weekend.